What's up, gamers? How's it going? Welcome in, everybody. Oshik, Funkoid, how's it going? Too much hair. Welcome in. We're gonna be working on some Lurden today. Goodness. Stay. Got a bunch of upgrades I want to add in. Upgrades for the crab pots. We've got oh my god. My hair is just not cooperating. Yeah, the crab pots. I want to get the algae eating system implemented fully. We did add in some fish that can eat algae, so we're gonna add a tag to the items table. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, I do have to end stream early today. I've got stuff planned, so we'll probably go for like 3 hours. But yeah, anyways, let's jump into it. So we got the snail, and I think we're just gonna add a tag on here, and it's like just a value for how long it prevents the algae from building up. So I don't know how much we want to do. I think right now it takes 30 minutes for algae, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we might I don't want it to be too crazy. Whoa, 70 stream streak, that's crazy, dude. Thank you very much. I'll just call it algae delay or something. And we'll do this in terms of seconds. So how many seconds is in a 5 minutes? So 5 minutes should be 300 seconds, I believe. Let me just make sure. Yeah, we're good. So we're basically just gonna slow it down by that value, probably. Well, we have two options. We could either do this as a multiplier or as like just a flat time. Because we could just do like a 0.8 multiplier or something. So let's say if the base time is 30 minutes, or let's say we multiply it by 1.5 times, right? And I guess if you have like a bunch of them, then that would just keep getting more and more effective, right? So you could effectively, like, if you have a bunch of algae eaters in your tank, especially ones that are really powerful, then yeah, it would take a long time until the algae happens. So I think we'll do that. Just call it algae time multiplier. Now the question is, do we want this to essentially work as a, you know, like positive multiplier or a zero multiplier? Because we could multiply the time, or we multiply the rate at which it decrements, right? Because we've got, like, let's say that we have 30 minutes of algae time, right? We could say 30 minutes times 1.2. But I think the way I'm probably going to kind of calculate this is like the base algae time is always consistent. But I'm just going to decrease that timer. That's probably what I'm going to do here. So I think we want it to take longer. Then we set a multiplier. All right. So we'll figure that out. We have to make it like, oh, the player that they're an algae eater. Yeah. Let's go get this all set up. the way that it works right now, which is not great. So if we go inside of the tank, or just anywhere, let's go inside of global. The way that I set up the algae stuff right now is stupid because I'm doing, I just do a timer, but that's dumb because then it's really hard to control like how fast it goes. So yeah. I need to start. Okay. Just writing down the changelog stuff. Yes, I think we're going to change the format. One thing that I did for the other thing, which is for the food boost timer, is I did that in a much better way, I think. And I think that's what we're going to do here. So I want to start these off as all being... Just thinking where I do this. Secret. It's like boost. Food boost time, right? Alright. And I'm going to make sure that this has it at the beginning. Go to the ready event. So in here, I loop through all the tanks right here. And I say dirty is false. So that's only if I don't have that. Otherwise, if I do have it, then I want to modify. So if tank settings, tank ID, dot algae time, I guess is what we'll do. All right, so we're gonna see if we have a pre-existing timer for our algae, right? Otherwise, we say algae time is equal to, I think I'd set it to whatever grime time is. Yeah, so if we don't have it, I want to set it to grime time. I don't know why tank ID is invalid. Oh. Alright, so that should set all of those in the beginning to have our timer. And grime time is set to 1800 seconds, which I believe is 30 minutes. So the next thing now is decrementing it. If we go into process in here, pretty sure that I do that in here. Yeah, right here. So all we're gonna say is tank settings, a tank ID dot algae time is equal to that minus delta. So that should just start decreasing it every second. It should be fine. We'll do some calculations on, get some functions set up so we can determine how many algae eaters and stuff there are. But that should work. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and print this out now, just to make sure it's working. Then I'm gonna say if that is greater than 0. I need to make it negative. Now I'm just gonna print the algae time of tank 0. Okay. And one final thing, just so that we can test this. go into the aquarium. And I believe it's in process. This little test button. I'm gonna say global.tank settings algae time is equal to global.grime time. Alrighty. So now in here where we do the grime timer stuff and activate grime, this is gonna be a little different. Now I have this variable denoting whether the tank is dirty, but I don't know if that's necessary anymore. So that's a very... Oh yeah, I need to integrate a couple of these things over here. So, if not, accumulate tank grime. Continue. And then... Let's see. Alright, these two. So this is going to check if that is greater than our tank ID. This is in process. Yeah, minus delta down there. Minus delta. Alright. So, and then we just do exactly what we do here, which is when it equals less than 0, we say tank grime changed, emit tank ID. I'm not going to use that dirty setting anymore. I'm just going to check what the value of it is, right? Okay. I think that should be it. So it'll set it to 30 minutes. It's going to look through our tanks. If we don't accumulate tank grime, actually we can't really do that. Because otherwise it'll skip it. It's fine down here, but yeah, this should be okay. Okay. Let's save that. We're going to load into the game. We should see that value printing out, and it should be decreasing. It's probably better to do it this way. I was thinking about changing that timer to work like this anyways. So just showing 1800, not decrementing for some reason. We'll figure it out. Sense of algae time is greater than 0, which should be true. Oh, I might have it accumulate tank grime off. I do. There we go. Well, we know that works. There we go. So that value is decreasing. Then the amount that we decrease that value by is going to be determined by the fish that we have inside of the tank. So I'm just trying to think if there's like an easy way that we can figure out that multiplier. Yeah. We'll just say times get tank algae multiplier. Pass in tank ID. So now we can say for I in tank fish data tank ID, we say var item is equal to global dot items table dot get I, and then let's say var molt is 1.0, and then we just say molt is equal to item dot get algae multiplier. I think that should be it. Then return molt. And I also want to see now what is that multiplier, right? We're going to do this. All right, so yeah, right now it's 1. If we go to tank 0 now and add in some fish, get these guys out of here. Let's go put a snail in there. Boom, we can see the multiplier is now 0.7. So yeah, it works. So now at that rate, if it takes 30 minutes normally, you're saying like 1 divided by 0.7. So 30 divided by that value. So it'll take, or multiply by that value, I mean. So it'll take like 42 minutes instead of 30. So the bonus on these guys is not super insane, but it does help. I mean, this guy is pretty light. He's only 1 weight, so you could just pop a couple of these guys in here, right? And then, yeah. Now, interestingly, the multiplier did not seem to get smaller, so I gotta figure out why. Oh, I was supposed to say times equals, that's why. There we go. So that's a very tiny multiplier. 0.3. So we can say 30 minutes divided by 0.3, so it'll take 100 minutes instead, which is 1.5 hours. So significantly slower. And there's not really like that many guys in here. There's 4 algae eaters. It's not that wild. So yeah, now that is all set up. Okay. So really we just need to make it, tie it now into the system we had before. Hold on, let me do something here. Aquarium, I'm not going to set this to 0. I'm actually going to set this to 1 second. Just so that I can test this. All right, what's the next thing we need to do? So let's go into there's a lot of sections that check like tank dirty or whatever. Right? And now we have to change all those. So it's fine to keep that variable, but I just need to change the way in which it gets calculated. So here we say tank dirty is false. We don't set that. We want to say dot algae time, I believe. Yeah, is now equal to global dot grime time. Okay. So that's pretty easy. Let's keep looking for them. Yeah, because I can keep all that stuff. Now here, instead of saying this, I want to say algae time, and I'm going to get 0 and say greater than 0. Shouldn't really be a time where I have to call get on that. Should always be there. So we're going to do that. Just so it's more clear. Okay. Let's just keep checking. So I think that's actually literally almost everything. Yeah. I don't see any other place. So I think we're good then. And everywhere where I set it back, like here, I do say that grime changed. So I think we should be good now. Let's go ahead and try it out. So if I set the time down to 0, we should see the tank get dirty. So if I hit R, it goes to 1 second. And nothing happened. Did print out that for some reason. I don't know why nothing happened. Go to process. Thank you for the cheese time, much appreciated. How's it going, Ace? Welcome in. Went wrong here. So if algae time is greater than 0, if all that, so I set that to delta times that. It's less than 0. Should be fine. Then I met it. So I did print this. And this prints inside of here. Changed. Yeah, I should have actually done stuff. Ramos, thank you for the speen. Interesting. Oh, I said if it's greater than 0. The tank is dirty when it's less than 0, because that means it's time's up. New chicken main or a Peter main? Do you mean in the context of like Peter Griffin or the chicken in Family Guy? I don't remember what its name is. All right, let's try this again. Actually, shouldn't have done it instead of the tank, though. Okay, so that one's working, but for some reason the outside is not getting dirty. Let's go take a gander. Figure what's happening here. Oh. Oh, it's just dirty. Okay. I messed up. Like right here, when I calculate the tank income, I had to say... Algae time. In the hit platform fighter adult cartoon bashes, yeah. I'd probably go Peter main on this one. But, you know, both good. Yeah. Then activate Grime. I don't use this anymore, so I want it to go away. Now I don't check for that anymore. Alright, Grime visible. This one we say dot algae time is less than or equal to 0. I think that should be everything now. Let's do our search again. Oh, and activate Grime isn't a thing, so let's get rid of our Grime timer. Alright, so dirty. That's inside a fish tank. Sponge. Sponge. You know? That one's good. Should be good to go. Okay. Let's try this again. This down B is pretty OP. That chicken's recovery is kind of goated, not gonna lie. Yeah. And Pickle Rex. Yeah, I know a lot about that game, definitely. I know so much about it. Look at all this gunk on my tank, bro. Okay, that should show... Yes. Boom, it gets dirty again. Time to clean. Cleaning time, cleaning time. Alright, so we go ahead and then put those guys in there. Let's put a bunch of snails in there, why not? Like many, many snails. We can see the multiplier on the side there. So if you have a tank that's literally just snails, like you're good on algae basically forever. Because you can see our value over here is so So slow. Hey, bro, welcome in. How's it going? Yeah, Luridan's going good. I'm just working on some little upgrade tweaks and things. I'm getting it set up so that the, you know, certain fish eat algae. So when you put them inside of your tank, it slows down the rate at which your tank gets dirty again. So we just kind of changed the system that we use for calculating when the tank gets covered in algae. So if a multiplier is 0.01, that's going to be really slow. The 30 divided by 0.01. It'll take 3,000 minutes, which is 50 hours. So yeah. Explained this earlier when I gave fish my chef, they didn't get removed. Yeah, that's just a bug. I fixed it. I just haven't pushed the new update yet, but I'll do that. Yeah, ignore that. It shouldn't do that anymore. Okay. You know, one thing that's irked me for eons is this. The little marketing icon is, I didn't format it properly, so let's go fix that, shall we? Oh yeah, also completed fusion reactor. I might change more stuff on this possibly, but I'm mostly happy with how it turned out. So I think it's fine. I'm gonna do like a shader on here, a mask for the plasma inside and stuff. But yeah, I've learned a lot more pixel art techniques, I think, doing Lurden, which has been nice. One thing definitely that I have gotten better at is anti-aliasing, because Lurden has a lot of anti-aliasing. So, but I've done a bunch in here, and I think it looks nice. And just general lighting and stuff, I think, looks all right. I do like how I did these little highlights here in the metal. It makes it look like sharper. I don't know how to describe it, but that's something I've also been doing in Lurden a little bit. I don't get to do it very much in Lurden just because there's not a lot of like buildings like this that have sharp edges, but you know, it's fine. Definitely like shiny things I feel like I've gotten a lot of practice with doing Lurden sprites, because if you look at like this tuna, he's a very shiny guy, and anti-aliasing really helps sell the shiny look also. So it's like a sprite from Clash of Clans Space DLC, yeah. I do. Yeah, I think it'll work. We'll work on more Starground, probably Wednesday or something, but I want to do a little bit of Lurden. I need to get a feature implemented so I can do another Instagram reel. So that's the idea. So, hey, welcome in. How's it going? Let's see. Yeah, I want to change that one icon, just fix it really quick, because every time I look at it, I get angry. Starground, never heard of it. Yeah, I don't even know what that game is anymore. No idea. Select. Can people use AI to generate pixel assets? I mean, I have seen people generate pixel art with AI, but I always think it looks really terrible. Pixel art, interestingly, is kind of resistant to AI, just because it's there's a lot of like rules that you kind of need to follow compared to regular art. I mean, obviously you don't need to follow them, but something I see a lot that AI art does with pixel art is it has mixels. Like, it doesn't understand that it's supposed to, all the pixels are supposed to be the same like size, so it always gets that wrong. So like super easy tell. But yeah, and I just think generally the sprites always look bad. You know, they look just like any other AI art slop. It's got that weird like cartoony corporate look always. So let's see, Bobby, how do you share your Stoat server? What do you mean? Just like, you can just create a link. I did create a Big Boy Game Stoat server. Community and Stoat. Stoat's kind of, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Stoat kind of sucks. But you go to settings, go to invites, and then you can create an invite. I submitted the Big Boy Game server for their like public community thing forever ago, the submit to discover thing, and they still haven't gotten to my server. One of my big gripes with Stoat is the fact that it's so incredibly overloaded. Their servers are really unstable, and also it takes them 5 bazillion years to do anything. Yeah, Stoat is just basically a Discord clone. That's all it is. And I think it's missing a lot of features right now. I only made it because some people wanted it. But it's a little stupid. It's fine. I don't ever use Stoat. One thing that's really annoying about Stoat is there's no notifications. So I don't know when I get new messages, which is kind of a big problem. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep using Discord. What about TeamSpeak? So TeamSpeak would be cool, but the problem with TeamSpeak is that you have to host your own servers. So I would have to pay money to have a TeamSpeak server, which is stupid. NASA uses TeamSpeak. That's pretty epic. It is really cool, but it only makes sense if you already have like servers that can easily host it. Otherwise, you gotta pay for servers, and that's lame. This sounds like it would be a nightmare. I think also you have to pay money, right? Like you can do a free server, but it's only up to 32 slots, so it's really not very practical when it comes to a community server, right? And if you want to go any higher than that, you have to pay money on top of also self-hosting. They do say virtual server. I don't know what they mean by that. If you get a... So, your private server... Maybe they do provide now a server. I mean, it's been a million years since I ever looked into TeamSpeak. But yeah, I've always known it as like you have to host your own. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It doesn't... It looks like a link, but I click on it and it doesn't do anything. I don't know if that means that you get a virtual server. But it says right there, requires own server hardware. So I guess they just mean you can only have one self-hosted server. Okay. So yeah, I don't think TeamSpeak is very good. Why not just use Discord? I'm still using Discord. I'm not moving to Stoat. I don't like Stoat. It's very bare bones. It's missing too many things. I've got my gripes with Discord, don't get me wrong. I really hate all the things they've done. One of the big things with Discord now is they're gonna do their IPO soon, so they're gonna be a publicly traded company. And the problem with being a publicly traded company is it means that you no longer get to decide what to do anymore. So Discord is going to be a pure profit motivated company. Because they have to do whatever the shareholders want. So that's going to be something a little troublesome, I imagine. Because they lose all their autonomy. So yeah, we'll see what happens. You can be a shareholder? Yeah, not enough to have any influence. You'd have to own a massive... You'd have to be like a I don't really know how it works. I think you'd have to be a board member or something if you actually want influence on decisions. And I think to be a board member, you have to own like over a certain threshold of, it's probably like over like 10% or something of Discord, which is a lot. So, let's see, once I release Prismal, what's Prismal? Stop printing now. I'm gonna keep printing now. But I mean, really the truth is, even if Discord sucks, it's still the best. I'm not wrong in saying that. Every other alternative has a con. Like TeamSpeak is probably better, but the issue with TeamSpeak is that you have to pay for your own servers and self-host, so it's not really saying much. Stoat is promising, but I just think it's lacking way too many things. Like trying to set up the Big Boy Games server was like, you can't do like role stuff very easily. There's no like onboarding, so people can't assign themselves roles. So it really, it's quite difficult. And also there's not really a lot of good bots or anything for Stoat yet, so it was a nightmare. I think if they keep working on Stoat, eventually it would get to a point where it's a lot more usable, especially for like community stuff. That's one of the big things that I think it's kind of lacking on. But yeah, we'll see what happens with all that. I'm gonna do embedded game window. So my profiler seems to be going a little bit funny. And yeah, Skype is dead. There's not really any other big alternatives, really, other than Stoat and TeamSpeak. So, I mean, there's like all the corporate-focused ones, but they just aren't good. You know, there's stuff like Microsoft Teams and things like that. But nah. So is their new client. Yeah, it's they used to be Revolt or whatever. It was like it was the Roblox one, and they changed their name. So I know they're working on reworking everything. That's another big thing, is that Stoat doesn't have a mobile app, which is really quite problematic for me. Because I would like to be able to get notifications and respond to people on my phone. But yeah. I tried Fluxor recently. Fluxor. Thank you for the bits, Bobby. Okay. Just another one. Yeah, basically just Discord, but bad. Not as good. Yeah, I had massive delay issues in VC. Yeah, that's one of the big things with these other platforms, is that you can hate Discord all you want, but the truth is they have massive big servers that are very optimized and have low latency. Like, none of these platforms are going to be able to compete whatsoever with the quality of like Discord servers, right? Like, you're going to get latency issues. It's not going to be as reliable as Discord servers. And that's why I'm not moving away from Discord. Like, it's whatever. People really hated on Discord all of a sudden because of the age verification stuff. But it's not really Discord's fault. I think people are forgetting that Discord legally has to do it. Otherwise, you can't get Discord in the European Union anymore, which for Discord is a major problem. So they have to do it. And it's not like Discord only verifies your ID if you're in 18 plus servers. So it's not that big of a deal, really, if we're being honest here. I'm not in any 18 plus servers, so I still am fine and have not needed to verify my ID. So I don't know. I think if you're gonna go through the trouble of going on to 18 plus servers, then I don't see a major issue with verifying your ID or whatever. Or doing like the face scan to figure out your age. Discord doesn't really have a choice. There's other things I don't like about Discord, sure. Like I don't like all their monetization stuff and their skins you can buy. I think it's silly. But it's fine. Ooh, I didn't set a food boost time on this. Should be 0. I better make sure these don't crash. Okay, we're good there. I use Revolt for my mobile app, yeah. The goal of Prismal is to fix these small issues. Only problem is no support for community servers since it's only self-hosted. What is Prismal? I haven't heard of it. Is it your app or something, or personal growth app? I don't see it online. Oh, it's your thing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, being real, I'm not going to use an app like that if I have to self-host. It's just too much work. Too many gooners on Discord, yeah. I'll say, overview, welcome in. How's it going? Yeah, I'm gonna keep using Discord. I think the larger issue is the law being passed in the EU, not Discord. So if people have an issue with age verification, then they should be more, whatever, proactive in their government. Anyways. One thing we do need to work on right now is all the fish swim. Snails don't swim. Thank you for the cheese times. Much appreciated. Yeah, I need to make it so we have like alternate methods of transportation inside of the tanks. So that's something I like to do today, maybe. We'll probably work on that. Oh no. Don't do it, please. No. Can't believe this. Oh my god. See, I need to add a tag somewhere to these fish so that you know they eat algae. But I don't know where I'm going to do that. Might be a little tricky. I might just add another thing then down below. I don't know what's gonna happen though. Is it 2K to clear cheese? Well, like, we just spent 2,500 points building up the cheese, right? So it makes sense that clearing it would be about the same cost as the amount people put into it. I guess, I don't know. I just don't want people to spam clear cheese and shut everybody down constantly. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Oh, I guess it's time for this. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to the item panel. Alright, we're good. And we're gonna modify. So I don't know what's gonna happen if we do this, but theoretically, I think we could just add another line to our stats, because it's not fit content. So let's see what happens. And then if we add another line, oh, yeah, it just expands it ever so slightly, so we should be good there. So, pretty easy. What we're gonna do now is modify the label. Oh goodness, it's one big label. I think I may modify. Let's do append text. We'll start with this guy, the value. Then we had to say .format. Format their value. Boom. This is better. Make a 10K and it triples the amount of cheese instantly. I think we already have plenty of cheese, in my opinion. Alright, let's put this guy on here. Then we need to copy over the calculated fish income. It's a hard requirement here. One thing I need to fix is the cursor is still selecting things in the background even though I'm not tabbed into the game. So, yeah, we need to do that. We need to make it not do that anymore. Okay, so now we're going to say algae. And then I guess we say x 0 point whatever, you know? Also, this all has to be changed to 0. So I'm going to change this away from being that. Global dot. I have to get item data. Do I get like item data? Item data dot. And we have to check if they actually have it. Dot get multiplier if algae molt is greater than 0.0, then we set it to that. Okay. And then I think for that one, I can't remember what I used, but it's like snap to int, I believe. So let's see what it shows. Yeah, so these guys show algae 0.7, 0.8. So that should hopefully work and help. I'm gonna give that a special color, just so it's more obvious. Why do I have a snap to int function? It's not literally just snapping it to an integer. Essentially what it's doing is that if it's a float, it snaps it to a decimal of 0.1. And then if it's like equivalent to an integer like 1.0, then it actually formats it as a integer. So, all right, so we're gonna give this a color. Let's go select our color palette. Say condiment, welcome in. Yeah, I've been lurking. Sounds good. Yeah, thank you so much for the stream streak. I appreciate it. Just make sure I didn't miss any in here. Yeah, we're good. I want to change the color on this. Let's do the bright green. Or maybe even like a dark green. I don't know how readable it's going to be. That's the question. Let's see. Too dark. Maybe this green would work. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so now you can see which fish clean algae. These tanks are atrocious. I guess it's been 30 minutes. Something we also have to do as well is, I believe it's inside of our offline notice code or like our offline logic. Right here, I say if seconds elapse is greater than grind time. We have to change that now. So what I need to do, I guess, is just loop through all the tanks and check. Or no, what I'll do is just this. Or yeah, that's what I'll... Okay, so let's say for in global dot tank. Is it max tank count? All right. So we're gonna say global dot tank settings, tank ID dot algae time minus equals seconds elapsed times global dot get tank algae multiplier tank ID. So that should work. I think that should be okay. And then I'll say if it's less than or equal to 0. We say global dot tank grime change dot emit tank ID. And what else do we say in there? Is that it? I guess so. So now it should work offline as well. So if we go into process, let's see in here. Just making sure that I did it the same way. But there's a bunch of settings we have to check in here, so let's do those. Oh, where is it? Here it is, offline notice. So if accumulate tank grime, first and foremost. And then we loop through if upgrade is greater than that, then we know that the tank is valid. All right. So that should work. Get all these dirty tanks, bro. I do want to make the... I need to fix that blockiness with the cleaning minigame. The reason that happens is because when you move your mouse really fast, like, it's fine when you move slow because it updates frequently enough. But let's say, like, I have my mouse here, and the next frame my mouse is over to the right. You can see it only updated here, here, and here, because that's the only moments it saw my mouse move. Because it only updates once every whatever our FPS is, right? So what we need to do is kind of calculate, we need to change the way that we do that. Kind of do like multiple placements of the effect in between each mouse movement. Check if it's like over a certain threshold or figure out like a number that we do it by, and then place, like, fill it in between the two gaps, right? So even on low FPS, it'll still clean properly. So that's something I would like to do. Perhaps we'll do it right now, maybe. Yeah, I think the offline stuff should be working. Let me just make sure. I mean, so it'll get the time, subtract that from our algae time, less than 0, emit. Yeah. We should be good. Okay. So let's go do that. Fix our minigame. It's gonna be inside of tank menu. And wherever we do blend rect right here. So I gotta remember that I tank algae is now a counter instead of static interval. Have I fixed any other issues yet? We added crab pots. I'm gonna run through the code and make sure we're good. You have a system where fish probabilities are different depending on where your bobber lands. Not yet. Right now, the only thing that the cast strength does is basically just if you get a maximum cast, it multiplies or like decreases the time it takes to get a bite, which I do like. But yeah, I would like something. I would like there to be sort of another layer to the mini game, right? Like in Stardew Valley, there's like those little like bubble ponds that appear, and I feel like that would be a good way to do it. Just like have little sections that give you a little boost. So you repeat by length of how far your mouse moved and increment the sponge by that amount each repeat. I mean, that's kind of like essentially what we're doing. I'm just gonna get the distance, divide it by a certain threshold. So like we say like we want a minimum of 5 pixels between, or a maximum 5 pixels. We get the distance divided by 5, and then we convert that into a quantity. If it's greater than 1, then we do multiple. I think I was wondering about the max cast thing since no indicator. Yeah. I'll probably maybe just add a little text blurb that appears above the meter when you hit maximum cast. That just says like 2 times bite chance or something. You know. Yeah, that'd probably be good. All right, let's figure this out now, shall we? Yeah, what it does every frame is it takes the mouse position and blends the rect. So I'm not actually getting the distance away, but we'll have to keep track of a new variable now, which is our last mouse position. Or actually, I think it's just going to be last position. And just say it's equal to vector 2.0. So down in here, because yeah, I'm setting this to the position is cursor.global position minus grime position. So var new position is going to be equal to that. I need to fix the clicking. You should do it for every cast thing, where low cast is okay, medium is good, high is nice, and max, yeah. That'd be nice. Yeah, I mean, you have to be really bad at the game to get anything like lower than medium. But it's still just fun to have the text there, I think. All right, so now we can compare these 2 positions. So we can say distance is new position minus last position. All right. I'm actually going to call that like our direction vector. And then we're now going to figure this out. So for I and range count. And var count is going to be direction length and divide it by like a specific number of pixels. So let's just say 16. So now we're going to do in range of count, and we're going to say seal on that so that we always do at least 1, right? And then we just say this. And only set that once. And say last position is equal to new position. Okay. Let's actually set last position to the new position every frame, otherwise it'll be a little bit funny. Just a wee bit funny. And I guess I get a new position as well. Okay. Snooze the odd. Minigame ahead was kind of like sound space, where you had to make rings go through your mouse. Sound space. Is that a game? I don't think I've played it. If you do fish probabilities depending on cast, and the chef wants some low tier guys. Yeah. Yeah, I still don't know if I'm gonna do like qualities of fish, kind of like I know that there is that in Stardew Valley, but I'm not sure. It really complicates things, because then if I like store right now everywhere in the game, when I store a fish, it's just an ID, right? It's like lured in bass, right? And the problem is, if I give them like qualities, I also now have to store not only an ID, but also like a rarity with each and every single item. So it gets extremely complicated. So yeah, I probably won't do like rarities like that. But it could potentially affect the drop chances though, right? Like, if you do a short cast, there's a higher chance to get the more common fish. And if you do a maximum cast, you have a higher chance to get the rare fish, right? So we could kind of affect it that way, and that would be fine. Because the rarity, like the chances of getting them, I can do whatever I want with. Okay, that's what you're talking about? Okay, I just misinterpreted then. Yeah. I could throw that in. Change frequency depending on cast distance. Yeah, that would be a good way to do it, I think. Yeah, because then if you really don't want to get the rare guys or just want to get the common guys, get it out of the way, you can just do a short cast. Okay, so on this now, what we're going to say is get our, instead of just saying new position, we're actually going to say last position plus I times length divided by count or something. I don't actually get length here. Okay, so I need to get that. So direction.length. I see rarities and tiers to be one and the same. Yeah, I agree. I think it's just easier to do it that way. Okay, so let me make sure this is all good. So we get direction and length and count. So length is just a number. Count is going to be length divided by 16. So if we move more than 16 pixels, it does 2. And then it loops through count. So we're going to start at the original position, which was our last position, and we add it. So it's going to be I times length divided...
I will not be passing arguments.
What? I times length divided by count. So I think this should work. Because if we're at 0, then it'll just do the last one. If we're at like 1 and our count is 2, then it should do... Yeah, 1... Let's see, length divided by 1 times 0. I gotta figure out... I might just pre-calculate this little segment here. And all that's going to be is just var length divided by count. So segment is that. And that should work. Bro, it's snowing for me right now. It was 80 degrees yesterday, dude. That's what it's been like too. It snowed randomly. And it's actually really cold this morning, but it's just all over the place. Like, let me look at the weather. Yeah, it's like today's especially cold, and then like Tuesday and Wednesday it's back up to 80, like 85 degrees. I hope to God our air conditioner doesn't go out this summer, because oh my God, I think I'll wither away. Ooh. Oh, I'm adding a float, right? Oh, so I can't do that. Segment has to be direction divided by count. There we go. I don't know why that's a warning. Let me see. Segment is declared but never used. Oh, silly. All right, let's try this again. I'm gonna restart the whole game. Yeah, there's like a little tiny mini cold wave that came in. Finally snowed, dude. It sucks how dry it's been right so far this winter and stuff. We didn't get like any big snowstorm, really. Like, we got a couple that were just very tiny. Normally we get like something a little crazier. Also, you can see it is working. So now, if we're cleaning a tank, let's like run at a low FPS just to confirm it. So if we like go from one end and then drag our mouse really fast to the other side, you can see it updates all of the sections in between our arc, which is good. So yeah, it should be a lot like easier to clean now, just more consistent. I would like to also do smoothing in the pattern that gets used, because right now the pattern you can see is just sharp, like it's a sharp cutoff, and it's fine. But it would be cool if we did a little bit of anti-aliasing. I have to figure out how that would work with like the blending, because I tried to do that, but the problem with blend rect is I don't think it does blending of alpha properly. I mean, it does say alpha blend source rect from that one to that. But I think that's the problem, is that it's blending instead of like merging. I don't know, it just didn't work. So I gotta figure out how I can do that. Unless the issue is just not with the blending, it's actually with the shader. It's possible. I would kind of like to actually temporarily see our mask. We can go into here. I want to modify the mask again right here. And I'm just going to add some white stuff to the side. Just temporarily. Then also some low opacity stuff. Just to see what it would look like with like a anti-aliased mask. Alright, so let's save it. And then just temporarily what I'm gonna do is go into the gram layer, go into this shader. And I'm not gonna multiply it by the mask. I'm just gonna say, you know, color is mask. Alright, check it out, guys. If I go into a tank, yeah, you can see it does weird things, right? Like, it's not actually blending the alpha. It's, I don't know what the heck it's doing. But you can see it's like, it makes it impossible to actually clean it. You can see obviously it's just like pasting it on top. It's not multiplying it. I think that's the problem, is I don't want to do blend rect. I want to do like mult rect, right? I just don't know if there's a way I can do that. I mean, I can pass in a mask. But that doesn't really matter. And then Blit, that will... like... I don't think it does any blending. See, blend you'd think would do like alpha blending. But clearly it's not. I wonder if it's because... well, that's the problem. There is no alpha. I think that's my whole issue here. If I restart all this... so I am setting it to RGB8. I think what I want to do now is just say... just check the mask with alpha. So we'll say alpha is full to start. Fill it with full alpha. And then as I blend it in, we just change the alpha. So what I'm going to do then is kind of do like an inverse mask. So I'm going to just make this all white, right? And then I'm going to erase inside the center with a brush that has alpha. Actually, it'd be kind of cool if it did have like little bubbles like this. And then I can just like do this. Now this should be the pattern. And then hopefully it'll blend the alpha. We'll see what happens. Yeah, let's see. You can do color.a. Yeah, it's much easier. It's just, you can do that with a lot of things. You can say .x or .y.z. You can say .rgba. This is like little shorthands for essentially accessing an array. So, as you can see, it's clearly not applying it. Unless the issue is that I'm not applying the alpha? No, because it should be. So why does that not work? I might just have to do it additive instead. So just kind of invert the alpha. So essentially I would start it with 0 alpha and then paint it on. Because yeah, this doesn't seem to be working. See, it's just nothing. And I would like change the color, but that's not really what I want to do here. I just want to do alpha now. So let's try doing the inverse maybe. I'm gonna say, how do I like invert the color here? Well, let's just do this. And just erase it on the edges. So that'll be our new mask. And then maybe initially for our color, we will fill it with 0 alpha. Let's try this out. Oh, look at that. It's better. It's still a little janky in some parts, but you can see that it's anti-aliased now, which is what I want. So it just makes the stroke better, smoother. So I think that might actually work. I'll probably just manually draw this actually. Let's see. You can't help but notice. Help but notice what, Bobby? So I'll give this a blur around all the edges. And I think I'll just do this by erasing. Erasing 50%. We'll do that. Maybe even that center guy. Let's do that. Then double erase that pixel. No, now it's too much. Let's go back. Yeah, this will work. Oops. Okay. Erase those. And then just erase the corners. And I actually want to do a 50% opacity here. Like that. And let's just keep it on 50. And erase the edges. Just want to keep it really smooth because when we're doing alpha blending like this, if it's not, you'll really see the harsh edges. You should see this apply. Yeah. Looking very smooth. You can see when I move it really fast, you can kind of see the gaps in between. So a fix to that would be kind of tightening up our gap when we do our for loop, right? So we could do 8 pixel gap instead of 16 potentially. Now you can see the gap between those is much smaller. So I think that's good enough. And then now we just go ahead and multiply it again and change our code in here. So now what I want to check in here is instead of checking the R, I want to say if A is greater than 0.5, we know that it's a clean pixel. Now let's go back into our shader. And we're going to set this to noise initially. And then multiply our A by the A of our mask, but I want to do the inverse. So I want to say 1.0 minus our mask. So if our mask is 1, it'll be 1 minus 1, which is 0, and make the thing go invisible. Let's try it out. Ready? Whoa. Yeah, just a little smoother. I think it'll work. And now there's no gaps in between when I move the sponge really fast, so yeah. I think we're good to go with that. I don't know how that shader or how this code would perform on like a mobile device or something. But it's probably not that bad. It's probably okay. Alright. Improved tank cleaning minigame by fixing gaps between the mouse and anti-aliasing the mask. Yeah. I wonder if on like a more green background, if it would be really hard to see where the grime is. I don't know. What app is that? It's Obsidian. It's like a note-taking app. It's pretty nice. I do enjoy some Obsidian. Okay. Yes, I think we're good with that now. Which is nice. Not a minute where... I guess I didn't. On the animated button, I'd like to make it so it doesn't show the little hand icon if it's disabled. So I think I do that in here. Maybe I don't. Oh, I do that inside of global. Right. That's fine then. All these coordinate or whatever these values are. Yeah, this is just I'm printing out some stuff. I was just looking at the algae. We can stop printing that now. Where was that under? I thought it was in here. Let's find it. Oh. Oh, is it just printing from the leftovers? Oh, it's print S. That's why I'm not finding it. There it is. Let's comment that out. No, it's not income. It's the remaining timer on our algae stuff. All right, we're good to go. So yeah. Rainbow trout. Good deal. Good man. Let's just keep working on stuff. So one of the other things I'd like to do is make it so we can control the swimming behavior of these fish. Because right now they're all the exact same, and I think that's bad. If that would have been the printing for the buffer, that would have been funny, yeah. Sometimes that happens if you, like, even if I comment on the line, it's just there's so much queued up to print. It keeps going for a while. Pretty crazy. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just go add another tag onto these fish. This is going to be swimming type. And I'm going to set that to global.swimming types dot anywhere, which is just going to be the default. We're going to go create an enum now. All right, I already did it right here. And then anywhere, and then I want to say like substrate. And then we'll have some other ones potentially. Just like different patterns of their movement. I'll just change this one to default. Substrate, okay. Might just call it sign. Crawl. I'll call it based off of like what the motion actually is. Default will be sign. All right, so now on our crawly guys, let's go set those. So here, global.swimming types dot crawl. So the snail crawls, shrimp crawls, and the crayfish crawls. There's probably more in here that we should probably change eventually. We will. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I might have to end stream a lot earlier than I thought. Apparently we have to leave earlier now. We'll see what we can get done. Okay, so let's go into whatever it is, like navigators, tank navigators. And then the limits. Now, what do I do for the silhouettes? Do I set my own limits in here? I don't do anything in there. Okay. Oop, don't do that. So we're just going to start by changing the limits first. So if... So we don't have an ID, do we? We don't. So I'll set one. Var fish data is equal to global dot get fish ID. If fish data, then I want to say if fish data dot swimming type. Oops. Global dot swimming types dot crawl. Then we change our limits here. So the minimum limit should be fine. But then the maximum limit, I want to change that. So that I'm saying, let's just copy this. So the maximum, actually, it's a little weird, but the minimum is the top of the tank. So I want to grab this and then say like plus a relatively large value on here. And I might even just set something like, just say limit min is equal to limit max. And then say limit min dot y. Minus equals like 8 pixels or something. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Then we have to fix tank fish, because that has fish ID and fish data. Our fish data is type dictionary. Okay. Hopefully that works. And I don't think we set any limits in here, so we should be good to go. And apparently inside of the items table, something has got awry. No, we're fine. Okay, let's see what happens. So hopefully we should see all the snails and stuff like staying on the bottom of the tank. And this is null. Say if fish ID. Yo, thank you for the bits, Bobby. I appreciate it. Let's try this again. Okay, let's go into a tank here. Oh. So I think I accidentally changed the wrong value here because I only want to modify the vertical limit, which is what went wrong here. So I want to say minute or limit min dot y is limit max dot y. Hopefully that should fix it. And then we're gonna change the way that the animation kind of works, because I don't want them to wobble up and down. It just doesn't look right. And we can give them a little bit more height to move around. This isn't really that much right now, so I think we'll give them maybe double it, 16. Also, if they're a crawly type guy, I don't want them to display a shadow. So that's another thing we can do inside of a tank fish in here. All this shadow stuff. So if fish data dot swimming type is equal to global dot swimming types dot crawl, then return and don't do the shadow stuff. And then on ready, do this. And now they shouldn't have shadows. There we go. So no shadows. We're getting there. And they can go even a little bit higher. I should set the limit to whatever their like vertical sprite size is, right? So I should set it to -16 minus fish data dot get sprite dot get image dot get size dot y divided by 2, so that their like center point doesn't matter anymore. I think that should work. Seems like they're all stuck on the bottom now, though. Oh. I need to say plus. Should make it so they shrink the higher they are. Yeah, that could maybe look good. We'll have to see. I know what you mean. I mean, it would only be a very tiny amount, I think. It's really not... the perspective warping isn't super strong on this. Yeah, we could try it. Let's just do this instead of tank fish. So... if type is crawl, we're going to say sprite.scale. Let's see, times. Then I want to get their vertical height. So I need to know their progress along, like, how close are they to the minimum and the maximum, right? That's what I need to know. Let me think how I would do that. I guess I can just take their position, and if it's at maximum, that's equal to 1. How would I calculate this? So I would take the maximum minus... It's always tricky. I'd get a distance. Well, let's just mess with just vertical height, maybe. Yeah, let's just say get our maximum. Limit maximum. And then grab our maximum limit.y. Subtract it by our global position.y. That'll give us a value. So you're gonna see it's gonna go wild. You can see it is working. So one thing though with this is when we're at the limit, it'll be 0. So we have to say all this 1 minus that. And I want to divide this value by a lot. by like 16 pixels or something. So we can see that's not enough. Let's go up to 64. So they're in the back. But they're doing some weird teleportation stuff. I don't know what's going on there. It's like their horizontal size is not being set properly or something. I thought I did. I thought I flipped them. I don't think I set their scale, do I? Sprite.width. No. No, it's not a pivot thing. For some reason, they're just not flipping anymore. I'm pretty sure that I do that. Oh, I am actually setting the scale. Well, let's change how we do that then. I don't want to set scale anymore. There we go. Oh, it's because it's a line 2D and I can't do flip. That's why I'm scaling. So I have to scale. That's fine. I'll just have another value. Let's go up to yeah, tank navigator. Or honestly, literally just, or no, we have to do it there, yeah. And then var. It's so I can do all the animation stuff. Let's see. So let's keep track of this variable. Facing right. Then I can change it in here. I guess I'll also change the scale as well. But now I can override it, so. I also have to say sprite.scale. Okay, so now that I know that, I can go back into here and then say this all multiply by or let's just do this. If not facing, or if facing right, else say sprite.scale.x times equals 1. Times equals -1. Oops. I should fix it. And now it doesn't know the facing right variable. Let's restart. Alright, so that seems to be working pretty well now. Yeah, it gives us a little bit of an illusion of depth, which I think is good. And as they move forwards and backwards, they kind of change size. So obviously their animation is stupid because they're doing the sine wave up and down. I'm gonna make it, I think, so they kind of go side to side. Might even just not do any of that animation and just map their velocity to a sine wave on their scale of this sprite. I think that might be the play. So I might possibly do this. Move this up. right, so this is inside of the fish. So if the type is crawl, then I'm just gonna map sign time. I'm gonna do this. Oops. Sign range from 0.9 to 1.1 and say time. I get ticks milliseconds divided by like 500 or something. So you can see what this looks like now. Then I'll also do the same thing on the vertical, but just a very small. So they're gonna kind of do this like squashing motion. I think I need to definitely increase the intensity here a little bit. And thank you for the follow, much appreciated. I'm going to divide that by smaller value, then also modify the Y scale. But then we're gonna, I guess that should work. No, because then it does that. We need to do the inverse on time. So I think to do that, let me make sure. Can't you just add pi? Let's see. What's up? Just saying hi. Welcome in. Thank you for coming in. How are you doing? Oh yeah, we'll definitely make them sort on these guys. So I think if I just say sign pi or whatever, isn't that's 0. So I want to say pi over 2 on the time. Like so. Get our parentheses in here just to be consistent. Now we should see that they, the vertical is the other way, like that. Obviously that's way too much. But yeah, we're getting there. Because now when they stretch out the vertical... Yeah, it's getting there, for sure. Next thing I want to do is change their pivot so that they're on the bottom. I don't know if it'll actually change. I'm not sure if it'll work. I'll try though. Let's go into tank fish, because the thing is that they're line 2D, right? So I don't know if I can actually change their pivot. I don't think so. Wonder if I could like offset the texture or something. I don't think so. I don't think there's any functions to do it. Like set pivot. No. I'll have to think about how to do this. I don't know. This is going to be a little bit tricky. One thing that we could do is put this node, this sprite, inside of another node. But that's not ideal. It's like if we go ahead and load a texture in here, wherever it is, fill. Okay, it's already in there. I'm not going to bother with that, but what we could potentially do, right, is add like another node 2D, make this sprite a child of that node, and then we can offset the position of this one up, and then scale this. So so that as we scale this, that node up there will have like a pivot. So I mean, that would work. But now in here, tank object, that's a little bit problematic because I'm getting sprite. I guess I could just override it specifically on the fish. Just say sprite is equal to that. I suppose that would work. We'll try it. And then give this a default 0 position. And then if we're a crawly guy, we're gonna offset the height of our sprite. The sprite.position.y plus equals or minus equals actually we have it right here, image.get height divided by 2. And then when I scale all this stuff, I actually just want to scale this node. All right, let's try this out. This might actually work. And texture is invalid. I don't know why. Oh, it's because I'm referencing sprite up there. I have to do this at the very beginning. Do I do stuff instead of tank navigator? With the sprite? No, I don't. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh. Yeah, I don't know why you keep saying that all the time. What do you mean research station don't work well thought out? You're talking about the researchers? Yeah, there's a couple fixes I want to make to that. Whoa. What is going on there? Oh. Sprite.scale. Oh, that's what I'm doing. So don't mess with those ones, but in this one, I'll do that instead. Yeah, you can see now their height is centered around that node. So that works pretty well. And then I'm going to multiply their amounts here that they're being scaled by. Yeah, just multiply this by, see, how would I do this? Because I want to basically, like, I guess I have to multiply the ranges. Because I do that in here. Or wherever it is. Hold these. I say, that. So this is saying that times velocity, max velocity. Okay. That should work. Oh, you know, I don't need to do that because I realized I can just do that. And I want to normalize this. So I guess I want to say, yeah, that divided by maximum velocity. And then I do want to clamp this just to make sure I don't have any bad things happen. And hopefully this will work. Come on, Godot. Let's try it out. Then all of that stuff. Okay. Still enjoying stream? Epic. I appreciate it. Love what you're doing with the fish tank cleaning behavior. Yeah, I think the cleaning is much better now for sure. Oh, it's multiplying it by let's see. I need to basically get a range on this, right? Our x range is equal to 0.2 times this. That's what's going on here. Because otherwise it's going to bring them back to scale 0. And then we need y range. And that's going to be much less. I want to do 0.5. So now we say 1 minus x range, 1 plus x range. 1 minus x range, 1 plus y range, or whatever. So now they should be scaling with their velocity. Yeah. Okay. Is that pretty much it? Yeah, I should never go into the negatives here. I think. I don't know why they're not flipping horizontally. That's a little weird. I thought I was setting it in here. Saying sprite scale times equals 1. And this one I'm also multiplying, so it should be fine. Is it these ones that's screwing up the direction? No. It's a little odd. Let's figure out why that would be happening. So I want to decrease the ranges on these a little bit more. So scale by default is going to be this stuff up here. And then if facing right, I set it to 1. Otherwise, I set it to negative. Oh, is this a problem right here? No, that's fine. I'm trying to figure this out right now. It never goes into the negative, so it's not my sine stuff. And I return right here, so I'm not going to run any of the other stuff. I don't know, though, why it's not... It seems like it's not getting the facing right value properly. So velocity is less than 0, otherwise... Facing right is true. It's a little odd. Let's print out what this is saying. Okay, so clearly it's doing stuff. Oh, it's because I'm still multiplying the sprite scale. It's gotta be what it is. God. Okay, if I get out of here and then go back in. What? So it's still not multiplying or changing the scale. I guess I'll just say sprite.scale x is equal to 1. Maybe I don't even need any of that stuff. Yeah, I think that's actually more reliable. Okay, seems like we're good there now, finally. So I can make them really easily. We can make them have depth sorting. All we have to do is, I believe inside of here, I set like a initial depth somewhere. Z index. It might be when I actually add them into the tank. Tank fish. Yeah, I set their Z index to 2. So I'm actually going to control where this happens now. I'm going to do this inside of Tank Navigator. Where I only do it if we're not the crawling type. So if we take another look at these guys, boom, depth ordered. And he is moving above everything. Yeah, I do have to make a fix now because they can... I added in their, like, vertical... their sprite height to their maximum limit, which just isn't a thing anymore. Because now the way I do it is they're centered around the bottom. So... shouldn't matter anymore. Let's try this again. Hopefully this will work. So yeah, we're good to go now. And it's still really easy to select these guys because even though they are visually behind the decorations, the way that the selection works is it doesn't really care about the depth of decorations, which is good because it means that if there's like a guy behind here and you want to select them, now you can do that. So yeah, I think we're good. The only other thing I do is set their maximum height a little larger because it seems like they're not really going deep enough. So I'll say limit max.y plus equals 16 maybe. We'll see where that leaves us. That's just a tiny bit too much. You can see he's kind of going out of the map. Let's do maybe 12 instead. And I think we're probably good right around 12. Cool. So yeah, now we have guys that have different methods of movement, which is nice. So you can see if I like put some other fish in here, they're going to be just swimming around like normal. But the snails choose to stay at the bottom of the tank. So yeah. There's a lot more things we can do to improve this further. We can control how, like, the maximum swim speed of certain fish and stuff like that, right? So yeah. But I like how this is looking. And then it should also work the exact same, I believe, for the shrimp. And also the crayfish. Oops. Yeah, so they're also crawling type, so you can see they just stay at the bottom. I don't do any animations for these guys. Like, I could theoretically do a whole... make their legs moving and crawling, but that's a lot of work. And I think it's fine to just have them wobble. So, yeah. One thing that I actually think would be better, I am saying plus pi over 2 right now, but it might actually be better to do not pi and just say 1. Because then you get kind of like, it's a little like oblong, or it's not just perfectly stretching and squashing, but it's got like an offset. Maybe. I mean, they mostly move horizontal. They don't really do a ton of vertical squashing. So I think it works. It's good enough for now, at least. We can see what it looks like without any decorations in here. So yeah, I like how we have this, like, different, like, layers to the tank now, you know? I think it'll be cool. You've got all your guys crawling around on the bottom, guys swimming around in the middle, and maybe eventually, I don't know if there's any fish that stay at the top, but we could easily add that behavior into the game now. So yeah, pretty epic. I'm happy with how it'll turn out, I think. Yeah, I think it'll work. Got the decorations and stuff. Yeah, and I'll tweak their speeds, because obviously they're very fast. Snails are not supposed to move that fast. So we're going to change that. Make it so they go a little slower. But yeah. Otherwise, I think it'll work. Yeah, and I want to make a change to the fish, too. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the way they... This isn't really how fish actually swim. Their tail fins go side to side, right? Most fish. So I think I might potentially make it so I kind of changed the way they animate a little bit. We'll see. It's probably not going to be very easy. No way, Aceman is playing lured in. But yeah. All right. It's weird how the depth is sometimes. Like, I don't know why. I guess it's because, like, I'm still on the last one or something. That's why it just stays there. Okay. Probably make some more tweaks to the way the selection stuff works. Because, like, you can see clearly I should be selecting this snail because I'm, like... He's the guy in front, but I'm not for some reason. Sometimes it's a little weird. I think it might actually be because now since they have like a sprite offset, it changes the center point of where my selection stuff is. So an easy fix to that would just be also pushing up their collision shape. Right. And then that would mean that their collider is in the proper position. So we'll try that out. I think I do that same thing with the tank decorations also. Because I remember I was running into that. There we go. Yeah, it just feels a little bit better. It's still a little bit janky sometimes, like, you know, why am I not selecting that guy in the background? But it's mostly fine. I will continue to make further tweaks in the future. Epic. Diver. Small diver. It's funny how you can make the tank look very big if you make all your decorations tiny. This is at a 1:1 pixel scale. What? Because it's at scale of 1. Hold on. That's gotta be. I think it just sometimes doesn't look like it is, but it is. Alright, cool. Well, we're gaming. Wonder if I should also do that same, like, depth thing with the decorations where as they go to the front, they're larger and then smaller as you put them in the back. Would be kind of fun, maybe. Yeah, we'll think about that. Let me write that down. This is a potential thing. Okay. Right. Yeah, this just looks much better now that these guys are on the ground. Something we could also add, which I think would even enhance it a little bit further, is like as some little dust particles as they move around, it like kicks up sand. Potentially we could do that. Accept the money. All right. Well, I think probably gonna end stream. I hate to do it, but yeah. I have to eat at 6, so I need to get ready now. Yeah, I know it was a really short stream today, but I have a concert to go to. No, I just got here 2 hours ago. Thank you, Gamedev, for lurking in the background. Yeah, I'm just gonna end it here. I don't want to have to rush. But yeah, things are coming along. The algae fish show that they eat the algae. So that's good. Yeah, these guys, the different modes of moving is working, so we'll keep tweaking that. I probably could still use a little more tweaking, but it works pretty well so far. Yeah, I'll add some particles and stuff in here. I think that would definitely help a lot. But it gets the idea across. I mean, I don't want to have to go through and hand animate all these guys because it just takes forever. So I think it's okay. Yeah, it'll be good to have that option now to like basically control over how these guys animate in here. We can do that with, we can add more types in here eventually, like, because I imagine like these guys, the sine wave, just moving up and down, that's like how some fish do swim. For example, dolphins. Their tail fins are not vertical, they're horizontal. So it does actually 100% make sense for a dolphin to swim this way. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why fish have vertical tail fins and then dolphins have horizontal. A lot of whales and stuff like that have horizontal. Like if we look at a blue whale or something, you can see that their tail fins are also horizontal. So it's pretty interesting. I actually don't know about, I'm pretty sure sharks are vertical. Yeah, sharks are vertical. See, it's weird, like, and same with whale sharks have vertical fins. I don't know why it's like that, why it's so different, you know, it's like random. But yeah, very interesting. What other creatures have a horizontal? I mean, basically any kind of whale. I guess it's because dolphins are probably pretty closely related to whales. But they all have horizontal. Beluga whale. I need to add in these guys. Yeah, we need to add like a new tank size for the big guys, you know. The blue whales and stuff. We'll do that eventually. Anyways, enough messing around. I'm gonna go ahead and stream. But thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. We'll be live again on Wednesday, 3:30 MDT. Either doing some more learn-in or maybe Starground. We will see. Yeah, let's go find somebody to raid. Let's see here. Who do we want to raid? Oh yeah, this person. They're making a tree cutting game. Let's snooze the ad. Let's just looking around, seeing what people are up to. Ooh. This is pretty crazy. Oh, yeah, they're working on... Yeah, we'll raid this person. I haven't raided them in a long time. Anyways, thank you gamers for coming in. Feel free to buy Starground on Steam. Wishlist lured in. Join the Discord. And yeah, that's gonna be it. But thank you, gamers. I appreciate it. And...
As a player,
yeah, I'm just making sure. Okay, let's start the raid. Bye, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. I have to wait 3 seconds for the raid to start. Okay. Bye, everybody.